So in this video, I am going to compare the Solar Glide 5 to the Adidas Ultraboost 22. These are both kind of new Adidas shoes that have come out this year, and they're kind of similar, kind of different. We'll go into that. Let's start with the price. The Solar Glide 5 is £120 compared to the Ultraboost 22, which is £165. So there's about kind of £40 between these two shoes. Weight-wise, Solar Glide is 335 grams, so it's not the lightest shoe out there, compared to the Ultraboost 22, which is 289 grams. Both of those are in a UK 5.5. Design-wise, I'll start with how they're similar. They both have the same linear LEP2 system, which it stands for linear energy push. And the easiest way to describe it is kind of like a plastic you can see it here, it's like a plastic bit that sits in the midsole, and it kind of prongs out in four, and you can see them here. The kind of the orange bits, it kind of prongs out, and it kind of acts like a plate to kind of give you that responsive kind of push when you're running, but it does mean the shoe is kind of firmer because of that plastic plate, which they both have in, you can again see it there. They also both have the same upper, which is, Adidas call it Prime Blue Circular. It's like a sock, kind of like it's a thick knit, but it is made from recycled materials, which we all love to see. And they have a similar silhouette, kind of a wider toe box, a wider heel. So that is kind of how they are similar. But the difference, that's what you care about. How are they different? Which should you buy? So the Ultraboost 22 is designed for the female foot. So they base it on loads of scans of female feet, and for the first time they've released it as kind of a female first shoe. It's not the first time we've seen Adidas do this, but in my experience as a female runner, I found this was the best fitting Ultraboost I've ever run in. I've always found the Ultraboost super tight across the top of my foot, and this just feels a lot better. But yeah, it's got more boost than ever, so it's meant to give you more energy return. It's still a kind of firmer shoe compared to the likes of the Nike Invincible Run or some of the Hokas. It's not like that extremely plush, squidgy foam we've come to expect. It's still got that responsiveness, but it's not an overly soft shoe. It's kind of the main differences, the main selling points, I guess, of the Ultraboost 22. It's a great shoe, good for kind of easy long runs, but it can pick up the pace when you want it to. So it's kind of a good all-rounder, which we kind of are seeing more and more these days. And it's good for runners who only want to buy one shoe. You could run a marathon in this, no reason why you couldn't. The Solar Glide, on the other hand, has a mix of Boost and EVA in the midsole. So you can see the EVA kind of here is this top layer of the midsole, and then this Boost that we've all come to expect. They call it a double bubble, which I don't know if that will catch on, and I don't know if I've invented that. I'm pretty sure they call it a double bubble. So you can see you've kind of got this bubble in the front, the forefoot, and the bubble at the back of the shoe, and this kind of it's obviously where you're gonna land and toe off. They've got a kind of these bigger bits of foam. But because of the EVA, it does feel a lot firmer. Honestly, when I first put these shoes on, I was like, ooh, these are firm for an everyday running shoe. And I'd probably say it took me a good few miles to kind of break in the shoe and feel that foam. Again, not necessarily a bad thing. It completely depends on what you prefer. I'm a stompier runner. I prefer, I want a lot of foam and a lot of cushioning, and these, they do have it, but it's not an immediate, you're not going to sink into these shoes and feel like, oh, that's really soft. They don't have that. Outsole wise, it's continental. There's a lot of grip. Joys of the English weather, have tested this in the hot pavements. I've tested it in the snow. I think you could take this off-road, obviously not on a technical trail, but it's a durable shoe. It's built to last. Run test, which should you buy? So I think it completely depends, to be honest, on the kind of running you want to do. They're both, they're both on the kind of not firmer side, but they both, there's cushioning there. And and I'd say they're both best suited for kind of long runs, easy miles. Neither of them are particularly fast because they're both pretty heavy, and actually the Ultra Boost is lighter than the Solar Glide. I mean, 335 grams is pretty heavy for a running shoe, but I didn't hate that. I quite liked, on my long runs and my easy runs, I quite like a heavier shoe because it makes me slow down, it makes me think about my pace a bit more, and it stops me kind of sprinting off the line and then kind of trying to pull back later on in the long run. I think which should you buy completely depends on the running you're going to do and your budget. At the end of the day, £165 is a lot for a shoe, especially if you decide to race in something quicker. So £120 is a much more affordable price point for a shoe that, you know, it does have a lot of similarities, a lot of selling points. As a female, I found that this did fit my foot a bit better. I don't think Adidas have made this a female first shoe, but it still fit well. The Ultra Boost sits a lot higher up the heel, but again, I quite like that. Not every runner will. So, you know, it still keeps you secure in the heel. There's still definitely a lot of kind of cushioning and support around the heel of the shoe, but I did find the Ultra Boost fit me a bit better. But I do think for beginners, and if you want a shoe you can just go out, do a park run, do easy miles in, this is probably, I don't know, it's probably a lot more affordable and you'll get a lot out of it. For more experienced runners, I think you're probably going to get more out of the Ultra Boost because you could do a tempo session in this. There are probably other shoes you would probably do a tempo session in, but there's no reason why you couldn't do a tempo, no reason why you couldn't do a half marathon in this. Again, you could do a half marathon in this, but again, I think there are lighter options out there. The Pegasus, for example, is a lot lighter and around the same price point. I think for me, I would run in the Ultra Boost because I'm a stompy runner, and I also would want a shoe that had the option to pick up the pace. But this is still a great contender, a great beginner shoe, a great easy mile shoe.